Karen?
Whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Very good. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glassboro for April 22nd, 2025 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2025, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board, as well as the Borough website, and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County, and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Casabone.
Present.
Mrs. Garlick. Here. Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Spence.
Here.
Mr. Melandro. Mr. Scafidi.
Present.
Mr. Brunemer.
Here.
And let the record reflect that Mr. Brown is excused for this evening.
Thank you. We have no presentations this evening, so at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's our turn to adopt the resolution to adopt the 2025 budget of the Borough of Glassboro, New Jersey, that being Resolution 11125, the council moves for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Casabone.
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick.
Yes.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Yes.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Karen, just out of fear, we don't have to have a public hearing, right?
We did.
We did.
For the budget, yes.
Okay,
We
good.
Okay.
I forgot, that's why I was just concerned.
Yep.
Good,
We're in
good.
order?
Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll proceed on. Next
Yep.
public hearings.
Yes, Mayor, we have tonight two public hearings on ordinance, number 2508 and 2511. I'll read them both. The motion would be to open to the public for comment on either one. If there are any, 2508, an ordinance authorizing accepting a donation of the parish hall property owned by the Bethlehem United Church of Christ, known as 137 South Main Street, also known as Block 45, lots 1 and 2, on a tax map of the Borough of Glassboro, to the Borough of Glassboro. Ordinance 2511, adopting a redevelopment plan for Block 18.01, Lot 1, in the Borough of Glassboro, County of Gloucester, State of New Jersey. If council moves for a public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who would like to come forward and address ordinance 25-08 and or 25-11.
Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinances as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Casabone.
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick.
Yes.
Mr. Halter.
4.
Ms. Miller.
4.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 25th, 2025, as well as the closed executive session of March 25th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Any abstentions?
have to abstain.
Okay, I have one abstention noted. Motion still carries. Kara, could you take us through communications, please?
Yes, Mayor, I have a retirement letter from Samantha A. Smith Young.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the
Motion,
retirement.
motion to approve. So nobody wants to do anything.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We'll move on to committee reports, and I will begin with Council President Miller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm in receipt of the monthly water and sewer report. We are continuing with the project on Academy Street, but more importantly, I'd like to just ask for everyone to keep one of our employees, Corey Rivers, in their prayer. He suffered a stroke last week while at work. Very valued employee of our water and sewer department. So if you could just keep him and his family in your prayers, it would be greatly appreciated. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Casabon.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to commend the Glassboro Police Department and the Glassboro Fire Department for the fire that we had along the railroad tracks, Ellis Street. Yeah, Ellis Street. And they also had a house fire, so with their response, they did a very good job from keeping it spreading more than it was. I'd just like to thank them. That's all.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Garlick.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I am also in receipt of the report from the Park and Rec Committee, and we are also coming up on the 35th annual golf tournament. So we would love for people to register, to support our young people in participating in this golf tournament, as well as being sponsors. So we really appreciate anything that the public can do. And that's all I have for you, Mayor.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Councilman Halter.
Hey, good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to follow up on last meeting. I wasn't able to be here, but I'm in receipt of the water and sewer report. Lead times are extremely long still for parts and supplies, over 6 months for just regular related items that they need. So it's delaying some of the projects. We continue on the galvanized pipe replacement project. We did have a correspondence from a resident out in Chestnut Ridge expressing their gratitude for the exceptional work done from the water and sewer department during that replacement at their residence. So that was very nice of them to acknowledge the crews. Wanted to make sure that they said they did a great job cleaning up and everything was back in order relatively quickly. Also, as you noticed, the development going on out on Academy Street. Water and sewer is also upgrading those lines up there for the sewer replacement project. So that's going to aid in all of that end of town and so forth. So again, thanks to the police and fire for their efforts along those fires last week. And also the fire department I know is involved in a out-of-county response right now for some wildland fires. So keep them in your thoughts as they're out there helping out other counties right now. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Spence.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to echo George and Andrew about the coordinated efforts of our fire departments and our OEM, Gloucester County, with those brush fires and the train. That was a pretty exciting day. It was pretty chaotic, and everyone came together very nicely and got things under control rather quickly, which was really impressive. And I wanted to mention that we have the Memorial Day Parade coming up end of May 26th, Monday. If you haven't entered your float or your walking group and you're interested in doing that, there's on the website, you can sign up. And we have procured a really great speaker for our ceremony after the parade, so hopefully people can stick around for that as well this year. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Real quick, one more thing in addition to that train fire. I think
Yes,
it's the outside fire department should be commended as well. Pittman experienced the brunt of the damage during that incident from there. They had a number of houses that were beginning to catch on fire, commercial structures, one commercial business which houses hazardous materials in it as part of their production processes. And I know the Pittman firefighters and some Washington Townships and some others made a valiant, very, very rapid response to that location, and were able to stop that from becoming a major problem throughout the area. So,
Thank you very much for that information.
Awesome.
No others, then we'll move to, we have no unfinished business. We move to new business. Karen?
Yes, Mayor, I need authorization to go out to bid for police and fire department uniforms.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. This time I'll ask for the engineer's report, please, Mark.
Yes, good evening. Just a brief update. Townhouse projects over at Camelot are moving along slowly with punch list items. They have quite a few of those, and along the East High Street estates, that work's progressing. A lot of little minor stuff, and also some base paving before they top the roads over at Camelot. Developable Concepts over on Leo McCabe Boulevard is underway. It's the building's is up and proceeding. They've done some minor site work, but that's still underway for those. For tomorrow, Bow Boulevard, there'll be some detours. Contractor's gonna be replacing some concrete curb and sidewalk at the entrance to Rowan and also at the high school. So with the high school being off this week, they've coordinated with the both the police department at the borough and at the county, at the college, to coordinate all those efforts. So that work will be done there. And then as far as resurfacing the road, That will be done the week of May 19th, after Rowan graduates everyone else and gets a lot of the volume down. For that resurfacing project is funded by the DOT and will go from the railroad tracks eastward towards Carpenter Street. And that'll all be restriped the way you see it now for those. Alfred Avenue, which is also a DOT-funded project, was awarded by council at their April 3rd meeting. That's up at the DOT to get their blessing. And then once we get that, then we'll get the contracts out to the contractor, a new contractor to the area, although they're well established in central Jersey. They'll be coming. Hopefully we'll get that mid to late summer with those aspects. Been reported a couple times on South Academy townhouses that those are moving with the utilities, just upgrading old pipes in the ground for the borough, and then the developer will be doing all the rest of the work. And last but not least, Chick-fil-A will be submitting their escrows and bonds in here in the next week or two. That'll be the final item they need in order to get all their permits to start construction. So that'll also be initiated here in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I will again turn the meeting over to our borough solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On our consent agenda this evening, we begin with Resolution 127, awarding a contract for Little League foul ball netting to All Vinyl Fencing LLC. Resolution 139, granting approval for Form B for PBA Investments LLC, Block 428, Lot 11. Resolution 140, authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Atlantic City Electric. Resolution 141, authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Dan Bowers. Resolution 142, 143, 144, and 145 are all resolution authorizing shared services agreement between the Gloucester County Improvement Authority and the Borough of Glassboro regarding usage of certain stage units, cruise night, art walk, Italian festival, and community day. Continuing on with Resolution 146 of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, appointing conditional redeveloper and authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding. And Resolution 147, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro, Gloucester County, directing the Glassboro Planning Board to review a proposed redevelopment plan for Block 76, lots 3, 4, 5, 6, and 17. They are the resolutions tonight on our consent agenda, also for the reasons noted under each. Council so moves for approval. Roll call vote.
Motion to, second it.
Okay, I have a motion to approve and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick?
Approved.
Mr. Halter?
4.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And Mayor, we have an ordinance for introduction tonight on first reading, and that is ordinance number 2512, ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for Block 76, lots 3, 4, 5, 6, and 17 in the Borough of Glassboro, County of Gloucester, State of New Jersey. Council moves for introduction. Roll call vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mrs. Garlick?
Approved.
Mr. Halter?
4.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the public portion.
So
Move the
moved.
public portion be open.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Floor is now open to anyone from the public who would like to come forward and address mayor and council.
Just for the record, there are rules and regulations regarding public participation. Most importantly, when you approach, would you identify yourself for the record, name, place of residence or business? And there is a 5-minute limit per speaker. Thank you.
First of all, good evening,
Good
Mayor
evening.
and Council. I've been here before, and we sort of this issue that we
I'm
talked
sorry, your
about.
name? I
Yeah.
apologize.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Willie King, and I'm at 328 McClellan Avenue
Thank you.
in Glassboro. Okay. We've been here before, this same issue that we're having. In a square city block, we have 7 supposedly safe houses. They're not safe houses and they're not sober houses. They're flop houses, that's what we call them, and that's what they are. Some of them are good people, and I'm not gonna lump them all together and say they're bad people. Some of them are very good people. But what we have, that element that's in those houses, bring other elements to the neighborhood. Now, I'll go back to Christmas Eve night. Some of my neighbors are here. 40 years I've been in that house. Never had no incident. The kids used to play in the street. It was a lively street. We had good times. But now it's getting to the point where we had a shooting and an armed robbery, 6 houses from mine. I just couldn't believe that. But then what happened, we got no information from nobody. Nobody would tell us, you know. I mean, the lady that it happened to, you know, she's been calling the borough, I mean, the police department, and they didn't tell us. And we found out just today that they did find the person and arrest him. But in the last couple of weeks after this thing happened, no information was put to the public. I'm a taxpayer. We got other taxpayers right here that came with me, you know, and there was other people that wanted to come, you know, but, you know, I got to them at the last minute. But it's to the point now that the people in my street, in that Square City block, like I said, they're starting to fear for themselves. You know, 7:15 in the morning, there's a white car every morning, 7:15, right before the school bus come. That's how I know it, because the school bus come right after them. They come through the block like it's the Indianapolis Speedway. And that is something that's unacceptable. And something need to be done about it. You know, and I gotta give it to Mr. Halter. He said, call him if things happen. And we did, and he made an effort to get it stopped. But these people, they're smart. What they'll do, they'll lay back for a month or so, you know, and if the police don't come around, parking on the street all hours of the night, people pay for those parking permits. But the deal is, you know, in the middle of the night, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you got all kinds of noise, and you got stuff that's going on right in front of my house, so I know, you know, that it's happening. You know, you got loud noise, and my neighbors, they'll bear witness to it. Some of them are just not good neighbors. They're just not good neighbors. And you never had this issue before, but it's progressively getting worse. And when you're dealing with 7 of these homes that they say are sober houses, they're not sober houses. We gotta find a way to put a curve to that, to put a stop to that, because they're taking a residential area and making it an unsafe environment for the people. And that's what's happening. And it's getting to the point now where, you know, I'm afraid that my wife go out in the morning, she'll go out 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe, because she worked the polls. And she's out of the house, you know, 4:45. I gotta come out and make sure she gets in her car safely. And I never had to do that before. I didn't have to worry about that. And I got a lot of single women that's living in the block that I'm in, they get up and the same thing, and they go to work in the morning. And that's becoming disturbing. And it's just unfair to the residents of Glassboro for that kind of stuff. And it's just getting worse. It's getting worse every day. You come through the block, 11, 12 o'clock at night, they treat the fire hydrant just like a dog would treat it. They park on it and they don't care. They don't care every single night. And I look out of my bedroom window, cars are parked on the street. I can't do that. Glassboro welcomed me back in 1983 when I moved from Philadelphia to Glassboro that first night with a parking ticket. And I remember that. And I said, okay, that's a good thing. I didn't take it as a bad thing. I said, okay, well, no parking on the street. So that's good. But like I said, some of the neighbors, you know, they same thing. And they park on both sides of the street. And like I said, and in the morning, you know, you just can't have that kind of element that walk free and then nobody say anything about it or do anything about it. That's just something that to a point where, you know, the neighbors are feeling threatened. And when you do a carjacking.
Mr. King, I'm just gonna make a motion to extend your time so you can finish your statement if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have Mr. King, so we can go through the procedural part. There is a motion on the floor to extend the time.
Second.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? You may continue.
Thank you, thank you. You know, and I didn't, you know, I'm not here to, you know, to blow up everybody. Everybody gotta have a place to live. And I agree with that, totally, wholeheartedly. You know, but the people have to realize there are residents there, and we gotta live together. You know, and you know, hey, there's, you know, when I put my signs out for, you know, the Democratic Party, you know, when I'm, you know, during election time, there's Trump signs out. And hey, I tell the people, look, hey, I don't care what affiliation you are as far as, you know, Republican or Democrat, but we gotta live together. Regardless of whose party you're in, we have to live together. And we can't do that when you got that kind of element and you feel unsafe to walk out your front door in the morning. And it is just unbelievable. So I am asking the help of this council to please, you know, start with, you know, more police presence in that square city block, Overbrook and McClellan Avenue. You know, just circle that block. You have to do that. And I'm saying it because if you don't, it's going to get to the point where people are going to start vacating those properties, and then you're going to have more of those homes, those so-called sober houses that's not sober houses, and the borough it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real problem. And I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time, but I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you very much. We're already, just gotten text already, police are gonna be out there, making sure we get more patrols, and if you will allow me, first of all, it's unfortunate about the incident, the robbery incident out there. I did hear from that. I got an email from a family member of the victim, and thank God that that person was not injured. I'll say that. As soon as I got that email, I reached out to the chief of police, got some information, and because one of the questions was, when am I gonna hear something? How come we haven't heard anything? And what I was told at the time was, it's an active investigation. It is being handled. They're making very good progress with it, and that as soon as the police were allowed to give information, by allowed meaning without giving out any information that will possibly allow the perpetrator to get away.
Right.
That's when the information, and I conveyed that to the residents. So I know that it may be unsettling sometimes that we as residents may want information, especially from our police departments, our public safety people. But if there's active investigations going on, I've learned in sitting in this chair that in order to effectively handle that investigation, sometimes information that we would necessarily want then we can't have, or they may not have it.
Right.
So we know that a perpetrator has been caught, I've learned. So job well done by the police, and again, thank goodness that nobody was hurt. And you're absolutely right. We'll take care of you.
Mayor, if I
I
may
appreciate
add,
that.
Yes.
while you were talking, we were already getting patrols ready, so I know
Yeah.
that Chief Knight would like to comment too on the robbery. So
Yeah.
as soon as you were talking, we're on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Very good.
Just to echo what the mayor said, when it's an active investigation, it's a lot of sensitive information going around that we don't wanna share, we don't wanna, possibly damage the investigation or later prosecution down the road. But with all that being said, like you said, we did charge somebody, criminally, and, I am just waiting for final, approval from the prosecutor's office to hopefully put something out in the next day or two, regarding all the details of what took place. But please just rest assured, yes, I know it was a terrible incident, but our detectives and our officers worked tirelessly and relentlessly, and they left no stone unturned. It was a really outstanding job, and, you might have not saw them in the neighborhood, but they, canvassed the neighborhood, they went above and beyond. I mean, they did their job, but I think they really went above and beyond, and that's why we had a successful apprehension. So, just rest assured, our guys were out there, and they did an outstanding job, so.
We as neighbors, we appreciate that. We really do appreciate that, and like I said, I didn't come here to complain or make a harsh statement to tell you guys not doing your job, because you are doing your job, and we appreciate that. But it's just that, the element that those sober house. Yes. And they bring in those people to the neighborhood, and what happened, that kind of element brings a different kind of element that's been there, and that's what's happening. And when you got 7 of those safe houses, as they call, and they said they're sober houses. I'm not gonna make any statements that, that I don't have proof to back it up. But there are things that's going on in those places that tell me that they're not sober houses. And my neighbors will tell you that. And they have some stuff on film, and it's unbelievable.
If I may, Mr. King, I think our solicitor may provide some clarity on some legislation.
Yep, I don't want to get you too excited, but you've read the papers, and it's just recently where Senator Paul Moriarty over in the other legislative district has introduced legislation to now register and legislate these sober properties, because he also is of the opinion that they're unregulated, unsupervised, out-of-control properties. I don't know the current status. I know it was introduced by him. I would suggest that you give the senator a call, Paul Moriarty.
Yeah.
He is the sponsor of this new legislation
Okay.
that is supposed to establish laws and regulation on licensing of sober houses, because there is none. There is none.
Will do.
I'm optimistic.
I
Don't
think-
think it's been adopted.
I
So
think
we-
our legislators are also signing on to that same legislation. Willie, if you want to give me a call at the office in Glassboro, I can
I
find
will.
that for you tomorrow and
Okay,
find out what
all
it
right.
entails.
It just happened, just recently, just in the
Yeah.
last few months.
And there will also be a letter coming from my desk on behalf of the borough to champion. We'll get the information about what the legislation actually says, and if it says what we think it says, then we're gonna champion it as well.
Thank you very much, and I
You're welcome
appreciate you,
very
council, for hearing me. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Absolutely. Hello.
Hey.
Diane Johnson, 210, excuse me, 16 William Street, Glassboro, New Jersey. That was a joke. But anyway, I have a couple questions. The first question is, Marion Gaines wanted me to ask this question about the 3 lots you have on Main Street near 218. She wanted to know why you had to buy all 3 lots at one time instead of buying one.
318, you speak on what lot of, I'm not particularly,
See-
I'm personally not familiar with that lot.
Okay, it's three lots there,
Okay.
and it's empty, been empty for a very, very, very long time. She wants to buy one,
Okay.
but she wants to know that she was told you can't buy one, you gotta buy all 3 of them.
Where's it at?
On Main Street, down near 218.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, well, look into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Two-
My second question is, I know, now I don't know if I'm in the right direction for this, but I'm sure y'all will put me in the right direction. But Martin Luther King, when you get the Martin Luther King
Mhm,
and you pay your deposit,
mhm.
I understand that you have to sign it during the council meeting. I understand that, whenever it comes up. But it really shouldn't take somebody had a repass in February.
Mhm.
They just got their deposit back last week. I think that's, to me and to them, I think that's too long to get your deposit back. I don't think that you should
From an
wait.
event, so you're saying that an event, that there was a repass at the MLK Center, that the people put their deposit down?
In February.
And then after the event was over, they get their deposit back?
No, I don't have to be just right then and there.
Yeah, I got you.
But
Okay.
four
Just make sure I
4 to 5
understand.
weeks is really too long.
Okay.
That's just me.
Mhm.
Okay, now, I did an event on Saturday, and she told me that it's gonna take a while because you have to sign. She said it won't be it was on Saturday. She said it won't be today because it's too soon. So she said it would be the next council meeting, which would be in May. I don't think that's fair to the people when they pay the deposit. I think that it should be a little sooner than that. 4 weeks is too long for someone to wait to get the deposit back. Especially after you pay your money, the place is nice and clean when you leave. It shouldn't be 4 weeks, it shouldn't be 5 weeks.
Mhm.
You know, that's just how I feel,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, I'll look
So-
into that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you. My third question is, Ellesmere. I asked a long time ago about the bathroom for Ellesmere Park.
Mhm.
You hear anything on that?
Work in progress.
Okay.
Work in progress.
Okay, and my fourth question is, I was gonna ask about Chick-fil-A, but the gentleman already elaborated on that, so I don't have to ask that question. That's
Work
all.
in progress.
That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Chris Stickerman, 341 McClellan Avenue.
Good evening.
Hi, I just wanted to add something to what Willie was saying. Just in the last couple years, one night I had an officer come to my house and ask me to come out and check my car because someone from that house went down kicking the doors in cars. I was lucky. They didn't really I guess they got tired by the time they got to my house, and whatever he kicked didn't really damage the car. Another neighbor on the street had their car stolen right out of their driveway at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I actually talked to a couple that live in the sober house. They're from Oklahoma. The people that are in these houses aren't from around here, but they asked to get moved to another sober house. This one's so bad. And I've only seen them once since then, but I saw them the day they moved out and went somewhere else. So I mean, that's what we're dealing with. It's not just trying to label people as, well, that, they shouldn't be there, but these are the kind of things we have on our street, and our street used to be, a really nice place to live. And I go out at 5:36 in the morning, and I would like to have known that there was a robbery and somebody using a gun on the street, because I've been a lot more careful when I go out in the morning. I remote start my car before I go out, but fortunately it's still in the driveway every day. But I just wanted to give you some of the specific things that have been happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Continue to do so, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
John Wise, 114 East Avenue. I have two things I want to talk about. The first one I'm happy about. When that fire was coming down the railroad track, I got a lot of leaves and dead trees there, but it didn't make it to me, because I would have been out of, that whole block would have been out of electricity, because the trees are leaning over. And I wanted to ask, how do I get in touch with Baltimore and Ohio, the railroad company?
Mr. Wise, I have that contact info. I'll give it to you afterwards.
Pardon me?
I have that contact info. I'll give it to you afterwards.
Okay, thank you,
Yep.
thank you. The other sad thing that shook me, just shook me through my bones. Grove and Academy, where Grove is supposed to stop, as Academy is going north and south. I was right there with my pickup truck, and this person didn't even bother about it. And the car behind her did the same thing. The Atlantic City, your gas company, he saw it, and he threw his hands up, just like, wow. And I wanted to know who would put a blinking light there at Grove and Academy to stop some. I mean, as the sign says, the sign actually says stop.
Yeah, Mr. Wise, we've tried all kinds of solutions to that intersection. It's been popped up in problems all the time. The county is the one that makes that decision to put a light or not to put a light.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the county had to be scared too, like I was. I mean, boom, 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 boom,
I can imagine.
But they got the truck behind him, behind the two cars that they never stopped. And I mean, I was right there. Mm-hmm. I'm on the brakes, because, I can come under over 40 miles an hour. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying that was scary, because one of the members of our church had gotten hit in there before, Miss Fox, and I don't know whether that sign was up then or not, but it's been a while. But that is scary. And then I said to myself, I got to go to the meeting tonight and just ask, how would we get, or how are we able to see a cautious sign there so you can slow down, like down on Stanger in the Academy. There's a light there. You see that light distance. And you don't, you know, you're supposed to make sure it's no stop sign for them, but there is some courtesy. There was no courtesy. This was like 2 days ago. Wow. Okay. So I appreciate that. If something could happen, or however we can work that thing out. When I say we, I mean I'm in your corner too. You know, I'm in your corner. Thank you very much.
And we'll reach out to the county.
All right. God bless.
Yes, sir. Would you like to speak? There you go.
Gentlemen, sir.
Mr. Wise?
Mr. Wise.
You got him, you might have an answer.
Jack D'Angelo, the county rep tonight, for Glassboro. I will take your, information, bring that up to the county level. Barry Beckman is a county engineer. I'll talk with him, see what the last DOT study was on, that intersection there, and see what they can do about putting that, looking like there. I'll take that. I'll do that. You need something from me, or you just? No, I will, send them an email in the morning, and we will report back to the borough. Okay, thank you. No problem.
How's that for service, Mr. Wise?
Seeing no other members of the public, I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Yes, Mayor, I have one abstention, PO number 25-01534. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a few abstentions.
Okay.
25-01516, 01127, 01151, 01353, and 01515. Everything else is good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those abstentions have been noted. Motion still carries. Any closing comments from our administrator? No? I would just like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Those of you that expressed your concerns, to those of you out on McClellan that had the incident out there, like I told the young lady in my email, first and foremost, public safety is at the top of our list for any and all people that come to Glassboro and reside here, and we take it so seriously. We're working very, very hard. We will continue to work hard. I continue to encourage all of you that have concerns, good, bad, or indifferent, to please bring them to us. That's why we're here, so that we can address them. Enjoy the weather, and with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Next meeting will be May 13th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. Go Dogs.
We have to do the resolution because
Yeah, the second
the
meeting.
mayor has to sign the agreement, and he can't do that.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, she's.
You're welcome.